Hello everyone, I welcome you to my computer class. So my dear students, today we are going to start with the very first chapter named Evolution of Computers. So by the name itself you must be wondering what is the meaning of these two words, evolution and computers. So before proceeding further, first of all we'll be knowing about the meaning of these two words. First one is evolution and the second one is computer. So let's come to the very first point, evolution. Evolution means the gradual development of something. Gradual development means step by step development. Like we are starting from the initial point till the end point, step by step. Similarly, computer. Computer, it is a very common term for you all, no? You people are using computer in your daily life. So we'll just have a recall over the meaning of computer or the definition you can see. Computer is a fast calculating machine and performs different operations. Operations means like addition, multiplication, subtraction and so on and on. Now, what is computer? It must be arising in your mind, no, that we have came to know the meaning of computer, but what is it? What is the definition of computer? So, computer is an electronic device that manipulates information or data. Information which we are providing or the data which we are providing, and it has the ability to store, retrieve and process the data. Store means to keep it with them. Retrieve means suppose the data is deleted, we can retrieve it again, we can regain it again and process data. Then second point, we can use a computer to type documents, send email, play games and browse the web. So computer is a very useful thing, you know. So like we use the MS Microsoft Word. So we are typing several important documents in that. Then we can send email. Most of you students are playing games. Then the third point is we can also use it to edit or create spreadsheets, presentations and even videos. Spreadsheets, presentations and even videos, these are different types of uses of computer, that how a computer can be used among all these things. Presentation, with the help of MS PowerPoint we can make videos, we can make so many videos related to any topic over that computer system. Have you understood? I feel that you must have understood. So now let's come to the introduction. So students, I have already given you an overview of the topic. So just to wrap up the introduction, let's see it, that nowadays we are using the computers in different models, like in our laptops, then in our tablets and so many other formats we are using, like in our mobile phones. So in these manner we are using the computers in our day-to-day lives in different models. So we have not reached this stage in a day or two. This is a very important line to understand, that this process took a very long period. We have not reached this stage in a day or two. From the ancient times man is doing developments. Developments means from the earlier time the human being is working hard in the field of technology. So from abacus to modern computers, computers has passed through various phases. So now we are going to discuss about those various phases only, about the early computing devices which are developed by man. So let's come. Some of the early computing devices, the very first one is abacus. Second, Napier's bones. Third, Pascaline. Fourth, difference engine. Fifth, analytical engine. So these are some of the early computing devices which we are going to study now. So the very first device is abacus. See, abacus plays a very important role in our day-to-day life, my dear students. Nowadays, abacus has become an important part of our lives. How? Basically, abacus is used for calculations. Do you know how? Nowadays, learning abacus have become an important, a vital part of our lives. It has made calculations, our maths very easy, and the calculations have came on our fingertips. So many of you must be learning abacus, no? They must be taking tuitions for abacus. So basically, this abacus was invented in China more than 5,000 years ago. Now it is 2020. Before 5,000 years ago, it was invented in China. So what was the function of abacus at that time? It could perform simple calculations, additions and subtractions. So abacus plays a very important role. Now also we are using abacus for calculations. Just like if I ask you one question that 19 minus 3 is equals to what? So some of you will start writing in your copies. Hurry up fast. And some of you will just recall in your mind what is the answer of 19 minus 3. And some of you will start calculating on your fingers, no? So, but abacus helps us to give the answer within no seconds. So this is the use of abacus nowadays, but in earlier times it was used for doing simple calculations like addition, multiplication, subtraction and so on. Now the second point is, before proceeding to the second point, we'll see the photograph of the ancient abacus. You can have a look. It is made up of wooden box, and so many small bits are placed over these boxes. So this was the model of the abacus during the ancient time. Let's come to our second point, that is Napier's bones. So as you can see the photograph, or you can see the picture which is being displayed below. So on the left hand side you can see this is a picture of the Napier's bone. This is the model of the Napier's bones, and on the right hand side you can see Sir John Napier. He was the man who developed Napier's bones. So let's come to the first point. It was invented by Sir John Napier in 1616. So this Napier's bone was invented by the great scientist Sir John Napier. In which year? In 1616. And this was also a calculating tool. Then it used marked strips of wood or bone side by side to multiply and divide. So basically what was the function? That you are able to see these wooden strips, no? Which or you can see these strips were made up of either of wooden or bone. So these strips are made side by side in order to multiply or divide. Now the third point is Pascaline. So it was invented by the French mathematician Blaise Pascal when he was a very young boy, you can say, in the age of 19 years. At the age of 19 years he invented Pascaline. So Pascaline is known as the first mechanical and automatic calculator. See, these two words, mechanical and automatic. Mechanical means something which is being run by manpower, no, or you can say an automatic, without any efforts something is running. So that with the help of these two words, this calculator is being defined, the first mechanical and automatic calculator. Then basically it was a wooden box that could only add and subtract. So what was the two features? That this Pascaline was a wooden box which could only add and subtract. Okay, multiplication and division could not carry out by this model. So one more thing I would like to tell you is that this Pascaline model was introduced by Pascal to make his father's job as a tax accountant easier. His father was a tax accountant, so he invented this machine in order to make his father's job easier. So this picture you can see, in this picture it is a wooden box that consists of a series of gears and wheels. So with the help of these gears and wheels, addition and subtraction could be possible. So this point is difference engine. It was invented by English mathematician Charles Babbage in 19th century. So everyone of you must have heard his name, no? Charles Babbage. He is a very famous mathematician. So basically he invented this engine in order to calculate the mathematical tables. Nowadays you people have learned these tables from 2 into 2 is equals to 4, 19 into 2 is equals to 38. So similar manner, this engine was used to calculate the mathematical tables, but one drawback was there of this engine, that it was not giving accurate answers or the accurate result. So that's why this engine model was discarded. As you can see in this picture, this was the model of the difference engine. Now the another point is analytical engine. This engine was also invented by Charles Babbage only. So as you can see, there is a very big contribution of Charles Babbage. So he was continuously making his efforts in the field of computers, no? So the second point is, it was a mechanical computer. What was it? A mechanical computer, and this engine was able to solve any of the mathematical problem. Either you give him division, multiplication, addition and so on, whatever any kind of mathematical problem you are giving to this analytical engine, it was able to solve our problem. So now this is the model of the analytical engine you can see here. Now so many everything, gears and all have been used in this analytical engine. So now by seeing this picture, what are you able to think about this picture? So as we just look at this picture, a very easy concept you people will be developing, that a boy is standing, he is puzzled up with so many questions in his mind. And why he is puzzled up? Because he is able to see one statement which is written just in front of him, no? So what is the statement? The statement is, Charles Babbage is considered as the father of the computer. So I repeat the statement, Charles Babbage is considered as the father of the computer. So this boy is just thinking, why only Charles Babbage? So many other scientists have also contributed. No, why only he? Why only he is the father of the computer? So many questions are arising into his mind, that what he has done, what special he has done in the field of computers, no? And why that he is considered as the father of the computer, no? So that's why, in order to just fill up all his queries, just like you must be thinking now, this boy is also thinking. So in order to answer all his queries, let's come to the second slide, and that is, yes, you can see a boy raising his hand. Like, I am addressing a class of 55 students. No, out of 55 students, when I ask this question that why only Charles Babbage is considered as the father of the nation, out of 55 students, at least 3 or 4 students must be raising their hands to tell the answer. So among those 3 or 4 students, or among those 5 to 10 students, or among those 15 to 20 students, he is that one boy who is giving the answer, and the answer is because of his concept and invention of analytical engine. I repeat the answer. Because of his concept and invention of analytical engine, Charles Babbage is considered as the father of computer. This invention of analytical engine is a very important, or is playing a vital role, or has played a vital role in this field. So that's why so many other models also Charles Babbage has proposed, but this invention of analytical engine, it has contributed a lot in the race of making so other devices. So I think this statement must have cleared out. So let's come to the another topic, the classification of computers. Now see, so many computers are there nowadays, you can see, but which was the first computer that was made? And till now we are going to study this thing in this point, classification of computers. Now let's see the very first point: first generation computer, second generation computer, third generation computer, fourth generation computer, and fifth generation computer. So there are 5 generations of computer. This classification of computers is being categorized into 5 generations, and in these generations, step by step, we, the human beings, are moving ahead towards the supercomputers, or towards the age of the supercomputers, which we are using it right now. So the first generation computer is between the year 1947 to 1956. So as you can see on the computer screen, the very first point is, in the early years of 20th century, the first electronic computer was developed. It was named Mark I. Its length was about 15 meters. So during the 20th century, when the 20th century has been started, when it was started, the first electronic computer was developed. And what was the name of that electronic computer? The name was Mark I. And its length was about 15 meters. This is a very important point, that the first electronic computer developed was Mark I, and the length of that electronic computer was about 15 meters. Now can you see any computer which is having a length of 15 meters? I guess no. Now come to the second point, ENIAC, ENIAC. The abbreviation is Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer. I repeat, Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer. It was the most popular computer of this generation. Most popular computer means, nowadays so many high profile brands are there now of computer, like HP, then Dell. So out of these two, which one is the most high profile computer, or which one is the most popular computer nowadays? So similar manner, during the 20th century, this electronic numerical integrator and computer was the most popular computer of this generation. Now the weight of this computer was approximately 27 tons. I repeat, the weight of this computer was approximately 27 tons. Now let's come to the second generation computers. Second generation computers were in between the year 1956 to 1964. I just repeat the year, between 1956 to 1964. So second generation computer were having all the parts of a modern computer. In comparison with first generation computer, second generation computer were advanced, or they were modern in comparison to first generation computers. Then the first generation computers were very much larger in size, like the first electronic computer Mark I was of 15 meters in length, but second generation computers, they were comparatively smaller in size than the first generation computers. That means their size was entirely smaller as compared to the first generation computers. See, nowadays we are using very small computers. No, in our hands we are using the mobile phones. They are also very smaller in size, and we can operate everything which we are operating on our computer system. We can operate everything on our mobile phones also. So now the technology has proceeded so much further, or the technology is so much advanced, but in comparison to first generation computer, the second generation computer was smaller in size. Now the third point is, this is a very important point of this generation computer. Two languages were being used in this generation computers. The first language is COBOL and the second language is Fortran. These two languages were used during this period. And what is the period of second generation computer? 1956 to 1964. So I guess everyone must have understood about these two topics, the first generation computer and the second generation computer. Before proceeding to the third generation computer, let me recall you. So what is the difference between the first and the second generation computer? The first generation computer was bigger in size, second generation computers were smaller in size. Then the first generation computers, which was the first electronic computer, Mark I, and here the computers were made, but they were advanced than first generation computers. That means they were modern. They were having higher technology than first generation computers. So, and second generation computers, languages were also used, COBOL and Fortran. Now let's come to the third generation computer. Now again we are moving forward to first, second, third. Now as we are moving forward, we are proceeding further, so many features will be included. Features will be included means first generation computer was not that much advanced, then second was also not that much advanced. Now third generation computer is much more advanced and having much more capacities to store data and information than the second and first generation computers. Now the very important point is operating system was used in this computer. What is used? Operating system. Now everyone is having operating system in your computers now. So during the third generation, during this generation computer, which was in the year 1964 to 1971, operating system, we have started using operating system in our computers. And the computers were having large capacities to keep the data within themselves and to store the information. Now some devices like scanner, magnetic ink, character reader came into use during this period. Now let's come to the fourth generation computer. This was during the period 1971 to 1982. I repeat, during the period 1971 to 1982. 2. The computers of 4th generation, they were having extremely large capacity to store the information within themselves. Now, for example, I'll give you an example. Nowadays, we are using Google. No? Just open Google and type out anything whatever you wanted to type down, or anything you don't know the meaning of that. Suddenly, the answer will come on your screen, no, and you'll come to know about what that particular topic means, or what that particular topic is trying to tell us. So suddenly you'll come to know. So how is it possible? Because nowadays these computers are known as supercomputers, and these computers are having larger capacities to store the data and information which is being provided by the human beings only, but these computers are having extremely large capacities to store the data. And that's why this is possible. No? Google is now, earlier we were using dictionary, now we are using Google Baba. So now Google is being used as a technical dictionary. So similar manner, 4th generation computers were having extremely large capacities or memories, you can say. Now computers can be linked together to share information. Another important factor of this generation computer is that computers were linked together to share information. Like now we are doing we are using our mobile phones, and with our mobile phones we are transferring the data to another one's mobile phone, or we are transferring the data from one computer to another computer. These all things have started from the period of 4th generation computer. In which year? During the year 1971. From the year 1971, this all thing have already been started. So during the 4th generation computer era, the computers were linked together to share any kind of information. Share means either receiving or giving. Either receiving or taking. So this dual process was going on. So now let's come to the so the last generation is 5th generation computer. This was from the year 1982 onwards. So this generation is although each and every generation was important for us from the education point of view, but from this generation or from this era, the age of supercomputers have started. Nowadays we are using supercomputers only, no? So from this generation or from this era, the age of supercomputers have started. So let's see. This generation, just look at the last point which I was speaking right now, just before seconds. This generation is known as the age of supercomputers. Age of supercomputers. Then come to the second point. They are able to make accurate decisions. I told you, no? Like if we are writing 2 plus 2 is equals to what? We are getting the answer. Within no seconds we are getting the answers. So this 5th generation computer, that was the age of supercomputers, and all the computers were able to make accurate decisions. Accurate means exact and appropriate decisions. Now the first point, extremely large storage capacity. That storage of the computers have increased so that they can contain in themselves, or they can have abundance of information and data within themselves. Okay, so this generation computers were the best till 1982, or from 1982 the 5th generation computers came into existence. So before this 5th generation computers, step by step we were moving towards the age of supercomputers, and the age of supercomputers was 5th generation computer. So what was our first step which we took? our first step was the early computing devices. The first device was abacus, second device was Pascaline, the third device was difference engine, the fourth device was analytical engine. So these computing devices were developed, and then the era of computers began. So the computers were classified into different generations. The very first one was first generation, then second generation, then third, fourth and fifth. So fifth generation was the age of supercomputers. So the scientists have started from the initial step. The initial step was the computing devices, and moving ahead slowly and slowly we reached till the age of supercomputers, that is the fifth generation computer, and till now we are in the age of supercomputers. Why it is written 1982 onwards? From the year 1982 this generation was started, and till now we are using the supercomputers. So my lesson or you can say my class for today, I just wind up my class by assigning you some homework. So before proceeding towards this home assignment, you must listen to this video lecture or to this video class which I am providing you at least twice, so that your concepts will be cleared. Till the time your concepts are not clear, you will not be able to answer the questions, you will not be able to develop your queries, and if you will not be able to develop your queries, you will not be able to just clear your concepts, no? So everyone should note down this questions in your copy and then write down these answers there. The first question is, what is abacus? Abacus we have already studied, no? Abacus, it was a first computing device, no? Then what is your task? You will have to write down this question in your copy, and below that you will be writing the answers. The second question is, who invented Napier's bones? Who invented Napier's bones? This also, when you will just look at the video or you will hear the video, you will see the video again and again, you will get the answers. And third question is, who is known as the father of computers? Very easy answer, no? This answer was emphasized more. Then fourth one, name the first electronic computer. So the first electronic computer, you have to write down the name. Only these questions were there. So thank you all for watching this video. I hope I was able to clear all your concepts, and any doubt related to any of the concept you can comment below. Thank you.